Hey guys, this is Ben Sulsky, Sauce123 for ones.com. Today I'm going to get in a few hands in this 1020 heads up zoom NL pool, something I rarely have the opportunity to do for these videos, and so I decided to give it a shot. I'll comment on stuff as they come up. Heads up NL is actually one of the more exploitative forms of poker, I think, so I will be doing some of that as I get a better read of my opponents. Mostly check calling here with the pair to go with my flush draw. It's a lot easier to show down that flush draw combo, obviously, and I think we mostly just want to be calling down here. It's a little bit dicey to be check raising these sort of like medium-sized flush draws. And this is going to be mixing, a bunch of both, but a little bit more check. These low card flops are pretty good for the out of position range for the obvious reasons. And so here on the river, I want to talk a little bit more about this spot. We'll be check raising a small river size and check calling against larger river sizes on these monotone boards. We want to have some very strong hands that can call overbets. Looks like we induced the bluff. We also obviously unblock a lot of the high spades that are going to be three barreling there with a high frequency. So again, I think I like the play for all kinds of reasons, both exploitive and optimal. Mostly going to check this one behind. Higher frequency check behinds when we unblock all of the backdoor flush draw combos that are going to be check raising with a higher frequency. So we kind of blow ourselves off our equity by betting a little bit more. But again, so here he's using the smaller size, calling. This is a very, very medium hand that we're going to be calling with. Definitely need to be defending against this very small size. Raising is fine here as well, but mostly calling. And over here, I mostly like a check, but betting's of course fine too. And this is a pretty solid bluff catcher in this spot. I mean, it doesn't look that exciting, but I think it's probably just winning. I don't know. And going to be betting here. We're allowed to have some shoves, so we're certainly going to have some shoves here on the river, as well as some smaller bets. This is going to be, obviously, can't shove. That would be quite a bit too aggro, and it's just too good to check down, so we end up having the second smaller size that's like queens, 10x, and jacks when we don't 4-bet. Really high EV board for us on the king 8 suited, so we're going to be doing a lot of betting in order to deny our opponent's EV and free cards. Same with this ace jack 8, really excellent board for the in-position player in single raise pot. The 10 of hearts here is like, a card that makes us very, very likely to continue bluffing. And sizing-wise, we don't need to be bet that large because our opponent has a very high frequency of king 10 off combos, as well as a quite high frequency of 10-9, and make some two pairs. So it's not a situation where we're just immediately loading the pot to a huge extent. On the river, once we fade the turn check raise, we're going to be making more overbets. Certainly, this is a card we'd be doing some overbetting on, although the flush draw blocking combos here with the 10 are actually quite bad for bluffing. but I think we still do bluff them occasionally just in order to have the appropriate frequency. Okay, so mostly 3-betting these suited connectors, but doing some calling too. And again, mixing it up between bet and check, and as far as sizing is concerned, a bunch of stuff can work here. I'm going to play this, certainly going to be playing this against that 3-bet sizing. Against this player, I'm going to choose to play it a little bit more passively in general. I'm certainly going to call it a flop here. I like this turn bluff spot on the right because really high EV card for my range. The 4 just doesn't really hit him. And I guess more importantly, I completely unblock any hands containing hearts or 1 spade that are just like random backdoors on the flop. And so that bluff is just going to be printing. Mix in a few of these weaker cards, my 3-betting range. Kind of a funny flop. My hand is just like, it's sort of a very awkward hand strength. It would be much nicer to have like Jack 10 and just be able to rage it in somehow. 10-7 is just a little bit dicey. Shows down pretty well and doesn't have much backdoors, so we play it as a check call here. Maybe we could have played that one. Certainly not folding, obviously, on this turn, and I don't think I can check raise turn. I mean, it's certainly plus EV, but I don't think it's going to be better than calling. My hand is very, very strong here. Blocking 8-7 and having very few improves in his range. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm just going to bet, medium-ish. I can mix in some overbets on river, but this hand's just not going to be the one for it. One that was like unblocking 10x and stuff would be a little bit nicer for the overbet. It blocks some of his very strongest bluff catchers with my combo. Okay, so this was just a live play video, kind of a one-off type thing. The idea was just to take advantage of these high-stakes heads-up no-limit pools that don't come around that often. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a little bit hard for me, maybe just today in particular or whatever, to keep up with the action on 2 tables of heads up while trying to develop reads and then also narrate the action in a halfway coherent manner. So please send me your questions in the discussion thread and I'll try to expand on some of my thoughts on any of the hands where the analysis may have been unclear. So this has been Ben Sulsky, Sauce123 for HUNL.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Catch you next time.